think it's important to talk about how we all have something for a few hours every day and upload that information to YouTube because um, even though there's a time and a place for everything, a lot of people don't realize that shit in the news and the business world is a dramatization of shit like targeting, centralization, and shit like bullying and discrimination and pandering. So it's important to at least come out and talk about it for a minute here with all of you, and hopefully one day we'll reach millions of viewers and even a billion viewers, and I'll be able to show you guys that money is liquid. It is there 1 second, and the next second it is gone. It is just that vivid illustration of dramatization of how we all have something. And if you want to deny it, good for you, because it is that. It is Asperger's. It is Tourette syndrome. It is so many things, and nightmares are real, the same way we try to throw books at you and throw education and college degrees and homelessness at you, we are throwing shit at each other. When we run out of shit, we are shitting on each other. We are pissing on each other. It is insane. So it's important to study social distancing and say money is liquid, and it is two different meanings. You can have cash on hand or you can get robbed. You can have cash on hand and get robbed. It's incredibly difficult to explain how Steve Jobs is different from Jeff Bezos. It is difficult to explain how Elon Musk is different from Bill Gates, and make crossovers of those things. And right now I'm focused on other things, but I'm talking about this, or vice versa. I'm not sure. We all have something. I have something. I haven't changed today. I haven't showered today. It's like ADHD. It's like Down syndrome. It's like Asperger's or Tourette's. It's like a fear that we don't overcome in reality. There's a blanket. All of us use some sort of a blanket to hide from somebody, and it's not okay. And we have to keep we have to keep you know talking about social distancing and the crisis underlying what's really going on top of this operation that Mother Nature is throwing at us. And you know people without money are and the most important people alive right now, because they're one eggshell away from bumping into somebody who cannot breathe without them. And it just goes to show you that the Stockdale paradox, I almost forget because I say Stockholm paradox, but Stockdale paradox uh, is when somebody stalks you so much, or a group of people, or an entire country gang stalks one demographic of people and individuals, and how people are mutated. I'm a mutant. I have a special power. I have a superpower. I haven't changed or showered all day, but I'm making a video about it. So that's my superpower, is being able to pitch pitch my problems to investors and funders and people who want to gift me money, and explain it to them that I have every right to be upset with them today, and to say I need consultants and lawyers because I'm like Jesse L. Livermore, or like Walt Disney going through the Stockdale paradox. I spend money. There's people who are rich and spend crazy amounts of money, and we never see them go broke. So that's called stealing from me. And I'm not gonna steal from you. I see now that you deserve it too. But then, and people like me, I would have changed 20 times a day. It's So later I'm gonna talk about other things, and it's just something that I have, that if I don't change clothes or something, it's because I don't have money. I haven't eaten all day. Anyway, getting a job right now is a crisis. It's an opportunity. We're going through a time as a country where we, without a pandemic, should know employment. We should all stop working for companies and let the companies work. Whoever wants to work at those companies work. If 44 million people go work for Microsoft and Google and Apple right now again, and Pixar again, I will be surprised because I don't want to work there right now. So, you know, pay attention to the news. What companies are people going back to work for first? You know, that's an epidemic. But if you want to work on something for me that I'm going to buy, then I might buy it before I buy groceries again because I don't have money for that new Pixar movie, that new movie, that new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and groceries. So I'm not gonna train myself to buy groceries, necessities, and essentials and cars first if I don't do it. That's just me exploiting how you all have something. It's not me that has something. It's not me that has a mental illness. It's not me that's stalking you or whatever the fuck it is people are talking about. So another thing that happens is you end up getting stalked by people who spend their whole lives running from the cops. So that's also a Stockdale paradox in a way, I feel like, because if you don't address that issue and you end up running from the cops one day, then you're somebody who runs from cops and people who run from cops for a living. And that's not important in my career search. It's not important. And when I find that nook where I'm gonna say, this isn't pivotal in my invincible career. It's not. Finding a full time job, it's not important. Getting a minimum wage job that gives you 40 hours a week, you're gonna reach age 80, and your 15,000th week working 40 hours a row, and it's not important in your invincible career. And you never found your invincible career, and your odds of finding that nook to having an invincible career on the Stockdale paradox, even if it means that you made $100 million and spent it or gave it all to charity and couldn't make it back either way, that's what the Stockdale paradox is. So when you look at late Stephen Jobs' like later pictures of him dying and seeming like he has something, it's sad. That's what the Stockdale paradox is. When you read into Jesse L. Livermore and Walt Disney, it's sad that Disney dies from, some health alcohol related death issue. Ray Kroc dies of an alcohol related death issue. No, they didn't have money. They might make you think they didn't have money. Jesse L. Livermore dies of suicide. It makes you think that he didn't have money. So, you read the news and you think that people have money, or you see the hot guy working full time, and he's like harassed by all the chicks. And like people think he has money, but he's going through something. And the ongoing pandemic is just a cover up of all the things that we don't talk about, because we're going to keep throwing the Stockdale paradox under the rug for another century. And it's never going to be solved. And everything, if you go to Disney World, it's all drama. All the cartoons and shit you see like that, Ty Lopez and Gary Vee and all of their bullshit is just a dramatization of that again. But they are truly that, people who monetize a threat, or like a threat theory, or like a conspiratorial theory, or like a nook that like doesn't help anybody else but them, because when you sign up for their programs and you make $1 million through them, whatever's upsetting you about that is upsetting you. And that's what the Stockdale paradox is that you get stalked by the same millionaires that are going to coach you into making millions of dollars. They might even be your first investors, your funders. I will let Ty Lopez fund me for an ice cream shop any day. I will let Gary Vee fund me for an engineering firm anytime, any day, any place. And it just goes to show you that when I spend that money, after 20 tries with the same investors, $20 million fail down the toilet, the next $100 million I make $1 billion with. If I spend that money, I'm going to have the same problem that I had at the beginning. And you can see it in people's faces that that's what they're thinking about. And it's embarrassing that that's what I wake up to every day. And that's the reason why I don't want to work every day, because the people who hold us back the most are seriously just predators and perpetual predators who don't want to learn anything at all. And then I'm just gonna end the video there, because I'm starting to forget what I'm going to say and everything. So Thank you for listening again.